Okay. So how did your tutorials go?
Actually, it went well for the kids that decided to show up. But no, it was good because I did, like I would introduce what we were going to do, and then I did one-on-one, just going around the room, fixing everybody's. I didn't do a whole lot of group work. I just didn't.
See, I did a little bit of both. Did group work and then individual work, and then like I broke it up because I think they don't have a hard time understanding the questions. Because one of the things when I asked them individually, what is it you need help with, and they said, I don't either. Of course, they say they're reading because they're bored, but just not understanding the question. What two answers to when there's two answers, which one to choose?
Yeah.
Out of those two answers, or just how to find the textual evidence from the passage.
Oh yeah.
And so those were the three things that they really. So that's what I focused on.
Okay.
And like today we went through and just asked the question. Like look at the questions. What is it that this question is asking us?
Yeah.
It's asking us to go, comparison. We just did the paired passage.
Yeah. And in mine, like in each section, I had them create the foldable, and I would go over the questions and be like, okay, what are the key words in here? Let's define these keywords so we know what it's asking. And then I would go back and show them how to find that in the text evidence. But then on the bottom half, I had them write all those keywords down and define them for each section. That way hey, editing's going to ask these types of questions. Revising's going to ask these types of questions. And I think that was helpful.
And that's what we did too, because I did the stems that were on Teeks, Teeks Resource? I went through like, these are the questions that it could possibly ask you. And this is what it's asking. Inferencing and conclusion. Those two questions are the only ones that you're going to have. It's not a black and white answer.
Yeah.
And I think that helped them, but.
Yeah. I told them, I was like, if you can't support your answer with text evidence, then it's not the right answer. Like, you should be able to support it with text evidence.
And that's what I told them too. But seeing as we have one more day, what are we going to do?
Monday, I was going to go over their game plan. So, like, you know how we printed off, like, an entire tree of those STAR tests? So I was going to walk them through it and be like, okay, are you going to do the writing section first, or are you going to put it at the end? Like, how are you going to strategize the order that you're going to do things? And that's what I'm going to do on Monday.
See, and I think that's what I'm going to do too. Besides, today I did this Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Because it's really good. It has revising questions, where it has like it has sentences and you have to revise the sentences. But I like the fiction and nonfiction questions on this too, because it asks inferencing questions.
Oh, yeah.
Like, after reading this paragraph, what can you conclude or what can you infer?
Yeah.
Because I found that those are the ones that they have a hard time with too.
The ones that aren't black and white. The thinking on a deeper level.
And that way it wasn't like a pen and paper.
Yeah.
And so they got into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than normal. And some of the classes were like fighting for it.
Oh, really?
Just like they were on this. Because, I did the competition for, and then look at that, 9.95.35 and 95.34. And I decided I'd be really nice, and both classes are going to get something. I think I'm going to
That's pretty close, yeah.
I mean, they deserve it because it came down to the wire.
Well, yeah, and, I mean, that's like one or two questions,
It literally was one question. If because when they scored an 88, if they had scored just one question higher, they would have
What about
boosted
5th and 6th?
5th and 6th
so
for the
much lower.
regulars? Yeah. They're a lot lower.
That's effort, I feel
But
like.
you know what I find funny? Is my really, really low class on the poetry, they scored a 91.2.
Oh.
And at first I was like, they have to be cheating.
Yeah.
But when I was walking around, they weren't. They're just really good at understanding the poetic skills. And I think what happens if you're a higher level student, you overthink those questions.
Yeah.
That's my rationale for that one. But I mean, they scored, because the other class was a 65.
Yeah.
Whereas my low class, they scored higher than.
Oh yeah, they did.
They scored higher than one of the there was only one pre-AP class that beat them. Look at that, 95.72, 88, an 80, and a 90.
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is interesting, because poetry is one of the harder ones.
But for some reason with that class, poetry is easy for them. And I don't know if and you know what I'm wondering if it is?
What?
Because poetry is short. I have a lot of 504 kids with the ADHD. And I'm thinking, Savannah, would you answer that, please? And I'm thinking that, just say Miss Bennett's room. Just say Miss Bennett's room. I'm thinking that that's the reason why, is because it's short, so they can concentrate on that short little piece.
Yeah, they probably don't see it and get intimidated by it.
She's coming down.
Nicole?
Oh, okay. Fantastic. I really think that's what it might be.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really have any ideas on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we looked at all that data.
Which piece of data?
I know, there's so much data. I'm just wondering, what we need, where we need to go to next with that. I mean, we don't have another common assessment, just the research
paper. Which is considered a writing example, or a writing
But
collection.
that one, okay, so that was the other thing too. That one's due, when is that one due? It says it's due before the end of April.
Does it?
I think so.
We're gonna have to move into like the second week of May.
It's gonna have to be
Yeah.
because, it says it's supposed to be due the 19th.
of April? I need to email Sprinkle.
Surely they're not gonna have, because we finished testing, and then that's the week of testing, the week after testing. Surely not. You too,
Yeah.
see ya. Surely not. Because there's no way you can get
We
that.
probably just poorly planned that.
Just not thinking about
We need to move it to like the second week of May.
it does need to be second week of May.
Because the first week of May, they have star testing for the other class. Or it might be that second week. But that whole
It's
second
May
week.
5th through the 9th, I think, is when
Yes.
that week.
But if we have it due that first week of May, we can grade on that second week of May while they're star
That's
testing.
true. We could.
And make it due the 9th.
But that's not going to give us but 2.5 weeks. Because when we finish testing and we have May 15th is that Monday after testing.
Okay, so
April 15th is after testing, that Monday after.
okay, so then if we start, it's 1, 2, 3,
There's 3
4.
weeks.
That's 4.
4 weeks, okay. But weren't we going to
Oh wait,
take
that's
that?
star testing right there.
So we wanted to do by the 3rd. So it's 3 weeks.
Man.
And then after start testing was the college and career readiness, correct?
For like, what, 2 weeks?
A week and a half. And they're not going to have their computers because we have to turn them in.
And that's what we need too, but I'd rather have it for research papers than...
I would too, because they have to turn in, their computers start being turned in on the, if I remember correctly, the 14th, 15th, 16th. Right there, right?
16th is ours.
So we won't,
So April 19th is whenever it's due.
yeah. Hey,
Hi.
Do you have a 504?
No, cheer banquet.
I like that
They're
shirt.
doing cheer banquet stuff.
yay.
Oh, is this where it's supposed to
It doesn't matter.
say? Okay.
We're talking about like research paper, because that's considered a writing collection.
Oh.
Yeah, Lisa
Why?
considered it a writing collection. So,
And we're,
No one's gonna read them.
no one's gonna read. Well, I
but
don't.
don't we have,
We have to
how,
grade it with the same rubric?
Yeah, I don't know how. we
surely
grade
not,
it.
because
That
that's
doesn't
just
make
that's just generic, and there's, we have to have citations and in-text citations and all of that, and there's no way that rubric will cover that.
Well, I
Did you
know
finish
that
it?
she wanted it as a writing collection. But I don't know how she's gonna do
One
that.
of them was like, oh,
I say we don't worry about it until if she contacts us.
She doesn't even contact
I
me
mean,
until
it was
the 3rd.
Then I say don't worry about it. Okay.
I say too. But it is like was supposed to be done on the 19th or collected on the 19th.
That one,
before
oh,
you
no,
start.
you got that one right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I tried to mark it out.
No.
Okay.
But
That's
that
why I'm
one was
saying don't
correct.
worry
Is
about
it,
it.
is that it?
Yeah, so we were trying to figure
Okay.
out what it would be due.
And
Oh,
you're,
okay.
you wanna double check it?
But so they have star testing.
Okay, double
what,
check
the second
before I grade it.
On the
Okay.
7th.
on the 7th.
Yeah, that
One of
whole
the-
week.
Algebra.
And then 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7th and 8th of May. So we would.
Oh.
Do we want the paper due on the 3rd so we can have this whole week to grade it? Because I think that would be good. And then the last 2 weeks we could do the career and
Because they're gonna be,
readiness.
because pretty much during this week, we're not really gonna have anything at all, are we? I mean, we'll have classes, but we're gonna be are they gonna do it again where you only come half a
No,
day?
they won't do it then, because it's not, I
It's
don't
not?
think so. I think since they're combining them, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Because
Because
that's
that
right.
affects freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
How are
So
they
maybe
combining
just
them?
seniors.
What's
They're
that look
putting math and
And biology.
biology on the same day. Which they did last spring too.
And then history and, what was the other one? History and,
Or no, it's math and history on the same day, and biology has its own day.
Yeah,
Okay.
biology has its own day.
So if anything, it's only seniors that have to show up at one, because everyone else is testing.
Yeah.
and like it depends too, like my pre-AP kids with the biology, they'll be taken out, but my regulars won't, because they're not, are they in biology?
Yeah, they should be.
Regulars are, never mind.
Yeah.
All freshmen should be in biology and algebra.
I don't know why I was thinking that, because in New Mexico is IPC.
Mm.
Never mind. I get confused between states.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So do we want to do on the 3rd or the 10th? Or
Well, because they can finalize everything and it revised during this week.
We just won't see our morning. I won't see them at all on the 7th or 8th.
yeah. Well, I'm saying like if we made it do the 3rd, we could grade them this whole week because we're not. I mean,
Yeah, and they will have tested, so they're gonna expect a break.
yeah,
Even though it wasn't this class they tested.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm good with.
The 3rd.
The
So May 3rd.
I'll tell her
So
now.
that gives us 3 weeks, which means we have to start on the 15th of April.
Start on the 15th of April. So there's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That should be fine.
So start April 15th, due May 3rd?
Yep.
Okay, that's 3 weeks. Which I think is fine because that holds their attention long enough.
I think it is too. So we've gone round and round about the topic. Are we gonna do it about college career readiness, something with that? Are we gonna do,
I don't think that we have to, since we have 2 weeks remaining, that we
Yeah.
can do college and career stuff where they can create Google Slides or a poster.
so what do we want to do for the topic? Now I have, and it's totally up to you, I don't really care, but I have, it's for AP, like when they get ready to take the AP Lang or even AP Lit. It's a synthesis essay where it gets you 6 documents. 2 of them are like a graph and a cartoon, and it's about community service. But you provide them with the 6, and then it walks you through. It's a persuasive, it's really a documented research paper that's persuasive, is all it is. But it gives them those 6. But if we wanted them to go and find sources, we could give them the 6 sources, and then they have to go and find 2 more to help support whatever argument they want. But that way they're not having to do all of the sources, and it won't take as long. Or we could do something where they find all their sources on their own.
In the past, I've had it to where they got to choose the topic that they wanted to off this website that I provided them. And I think they like that because it makes them interested in what they're researching.
It does give them the autonomy to do that.
Yeah. I know that Sine will go over like EasyBib with them. Like you can take them to the library and she'll do a tutorial. I don't think it's necessary just because I've done it, you've used EasyBib with seniors. I've used it. It might be helpful for you, but
I'll probably have her come in and do it with
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Just because just hearing it from a different person is
Yes.
just
I agree.
Well, and that's the thing too. It just depends on what is our overall
I think our
focus
overall,
on how to do an entire research paper, or is it like, is it to be able to find the sources? Is it to use in-text citation properly? What is our overall focus?
to me it's go ahead.
Good.
To me it's just the entire process. So I'm not looking for anything to be perfected in 3
Just to
weeks
be
time as
introduced
freshmen
to the
there
whole
first,
thing.
but just to be introduced of this is how I go about from I picked my topic and then what do I do now, all the way to here's my finished product. That's it.
See, and I like that. I just, in the past that I've done this for freshmen, it takes longer than 3 weeks if they're doing their own topic. Or are we gonna?
Unless
that's all
you-
we're doing though in class.
Unless you though limit the amount of note cards
Well, that's
and
what I
limit the amount of sources, that shortens it a lot.
That's what
Yeah,
I
we
was saying.
probably should knock it down
Yes.
because my seniors, it took
And then
them
all
6 weeks to do it.
Thank you.
And I can't remember how many sources I had for them. So I think we should just make it a much smaller
Yeah,
task.
very.
It's like 2 pages.
Even mine, I did a page and a half, I think, last year, and that was good, like for regulars.
I think I would probably expect at least 2
2
pages.
pages?
Yeah,
I'd
because that
say-
seems like a paper.
And
to
like
me.
3
Yeah, 2
sources.
pages.
3 or 4.
I'd say 3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree.
And are we going to, is it going to be internet sources? Are we going to have is it going to be book sources? I mean, everything now is journals.
I say
Online.
to just use
Peer reviewed.
whatever it is in the library or
The journal, the database.
the database.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the database you get to like, you have,
Pick the magazines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
magazines,
So
and
that
you
doesn't
have-
that doesn't matter to me. I think
as long as it's not a, what do you call it, a blog.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think they're on the,
I
no, last
Oh,
year there was some
there's some.
blogs on there. You have to be careful. I would limit not to have a blog,
Okay.
just because.
I mean, we can say if we want one to be a magazine and one to be a newspaper article and one to be a book or something. It doesn't matter.
Just different types of sources, not one of the same source.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so 3 different sources.
And are we gonna do note cards, digital note cards?
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
we do use Google Slides for that.
Bye,
Okay,
have a great
I-
weekend. Thank
I-
you.
I gather what little bit they do as sophomores, and then for sure when they get to their junior and senior year now, well, with some, anyways, that the note cards are made on Google Slides.
Yeah, I
And
have
I
mine
think
on Google Slides.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think that's great with digital
I
sources.
used
Why-
the easy
why write
book
it down?
ones. I used that for my 2 years, and I think Slides is going to be easier.
I have a copy of the ones I used last year, and I really liked them. Like, I think that they worked well.
Okay.
But if y'all want to like change the format of them, then we
Did you
can
just do a
definitely.
template?
Let them fill
Okay.
stuff in.
And
Let me see
that's
if I can find it.
for the first time to be exposed to it. Well, in 8th grade though, they've done a little bit of research.
They have?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
They had to do a mythology project,
okay.
and they had to write a story using some of the characters from mythology, and they had to document
That would
that.
be fun. That sounds fun.
Some of the kids really liked it,
I
some of the
like
kids didn't.
mythology.
I do too. But I guess it just depends on your focal point.
Mhm.
Some kids liked it, some kids hated it.
Yeah.
And then they had to do a big, long, huge poetry binder.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so 3 to 4 sources different. Okay, digital. What is the topic?
Let me go grab my thingy that is like a breakdown of. Let me grab it.
Okay,
Because my note card looked like this. What was their title of the note card? And then the source type, they would just put the MLA format in there. And then they would tell me, what's the point you're trying to make? How would you paraphrase it? And then what's the direct quote that you may use?
no, I like that. And because they have a hard time with that paraphrase.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're having to do that, then they can figure out.
Yeah, and the commentary, like explain, is just an elaboration of what's going on. So point, proof, explain, direct quote.
Now the other thing is, if we're only going to have 3 pages, 3 sources, we got to limit the amount of because if not, the sources or the in-text citations need to be limited. Because if you have,
Yes, I agree.
because if not, they're going to have the majority of the paper, other sources, not their words.
Yeah. So here was their paper. Here was their hook and their thesis statement, and they gave a little bit of background information. And I had them make 5 note cards on each source. So this is the color is a source, this color is a source, this color is a source. Then there's a conclusion paragraph.
Oh, that's
And
great.
That's what they turned in.
Wait. Oh, those are the note cards.
These are the note cards,
Okay, and you had one for the conclusion. Okay.
which were different colors.
It just threw me off for a second when you said conclusion. I was thinking something else.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so if we do that, and then what topic did you have them do last year?
They got to choose their topic.
Over
Whatever.
anything random?
Whatever. Let me show you.
Did you have it like controversial topics? Or
I didn't do controversial like abortion, marijuana. I didn't do those. 113 great research paper topics.
Okay.
I think it was actually 150 or even 700. I think it was this one. And then they got to choose which one that where's that? Yeah. They got to choose which one they wanted to do.
And
I had to approve it though.
and the other thing I've had too in a class is only one person can research in one. I try to make it where no one's researching the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you do, they end up copying stuff. Because they talk.
This thing. So they had 3 sources. Maybe they need to have 6 in-text citations, parenthetical references. That was making them write 5 pages, but
Well, that's what I was telling her when you were gone, is we need to limit the amount.
this was you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you do.
Mm-hmm.
They limit the amount of in-text citations, because if not, their whole paper will be.
Right. So,
And given that,
do we
So
want to,
we
I
need-
mean, if they have 3 sources, do we want to say that they need to cite it twice at least?
I think so. So 3 to 4 sources, and it needs to be 2 from each.
6 in-text citations.
What do you mean, like 2?
2 sources from
Okay,
each.
gotcha.
And I think that's good. Because if not, I've had kids in the past their entire paper will be quotes. Very little of it's actually their words.
So this was my note card template. So this was it was color coded. So like their white card was their introduction, and then this one was their conclusion. So they had to have 3 different sources, 1, 2, 3, and then their note cards look like this. What's the point or the topic sentence? How are you going to paraphrase or summarize, the point you're trying to make? Explain or elaborate a little bit more, and then if you wanted to use a direct quote or your in-text citation, then you could put that there. So like this right here would be their title of their note card, and then this was the title of the article they decided to use.
Okay.
And that's just what I use.
What do you mean by the title of the note card?
Well, like
What it
okay,
deals with, what on your outline. Are you making them do an outline?
Yeah, I mean,
would.
I did a bullet point, like a bulleted outline, but like say that in this paragraph right here, they wanted to talk about, and I did like athletes using steroids. So like I did, okay, the benefits, or not steroids, what was it? Maybe it was steroids or drug enhancing, whatever. So they talk about like the benefits of something. Well, this is what the note card would be titled, is benefits. Or if I were talking about disadvantages, this right here, the title of these note cards were disadvantages.
Okay.
Just dealing with the paragraph that they were gonna.
Okay.
So from their outline, it's going to be where
And
that
you don't
card's
have to
going
do titles.
Okay.
I just remember doing that whenever I did research paper in high school, and I thought it was helpful. So I just
Okay.
let them do it.
Okay.
Well, it does to make sure that you have at least 1 or 2.
Okay. I just didn't know if there's a difference in the title of the article that I was using and the title of the note.
Probably not.
You know,
Yeah.
because if like my article is benefits of, if that's what it's all about, then that's all
Exactly.
I'm saying. I just didn't understand the difference in it.
Yeah, there's probably not much, to be honest.
Well, I think that for the first time, it really helps them with organizing their thoughts in paper and getting, because when you throw a
Yeah.
research paper at them, they just get that deer in the headlight look.
Well, and I did learn in the past that like, okay, so like, see how you gave them due dates for each section? I gave them a calendar and I said, this is due on this date. And then I just said, and I taught them all the skills for it, and then just let them do whatever they needed to that day. And that was a train wreck. And I finally figured it out last year. I'm not going to do it that way. Instead, I'm going to be like, okay, this is due on this date, and that's what we're going to focus on this week. Instead of giving them it all at once and then saying, go do it.
It does much better when you give them, okay, this has to be done by Friday. This has to be done by Tuesday.
Which, and I've done that, but then I had to focus, like I had to teach one thing each week. Because if I didn't, and I taught like all 5 of those things in 1 week and then said, go and do it.
Oh yeah, no, and that's not what I did with.
No,
seniors
I'm
either.
it just
No.
reminded me that that's what I did, and it was
No, you've got to break it down into different parts.
Yeah.
Like start off with a topic first, where you need to go find sources, figure out what the information is, then do an outline.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because sometimes you do an outline first and then you do the sources. But a lot of times, if they don't know a lot about the subject,
Then
they've
it's
got
hard
to research
create.
first
Yeah.
before they can get the outline.
That's true.
It's true. Yeah, I almost think.
But I definitely think they need to have an outline.
No, I think they do too.
Do we want a sentence outline or a topic? Because I've done both. For the lower level students, it's really hard for the sentence outline for them.
I did
I
topics.
don't know what you mean by sentence outline.
Where the outline, it has to be in sentence format. So you would eventually just take
that
the
sounds terrible.
It is.
Okay. I was like, oh gosh.
It is. That's why I don't like to do it, because it's writing your paper,
Oh, yeah,
but it's not in
well, this
depth.
is for my seniors, but
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Topic.
Yeah.
It needs to be a brief.
yeah, their title of their paper, the controlling research question, and their thesis statement.
Oh yeah, that's what mine looks like too. I was trying
And
to find
that
it,
definitely.
but that's what mine looks like.
Okay, so April 15th. I wrote April, but I didn't write that down. And they're gonna choose from that list. Do we all want to do the same list?
Yeah, I think so.
Top. Okay.
And we can look at websites together before and see which website we want to choose.
That sounds fun. That sounds good. Okay, so for our students who need modifications on this, how are we going to modify it? I mean, they have extended time, but are we going to make them the same page requirement, the same source requirement?
I mean, I think if they're getting 3 weeks in class to work on it, I don't know why.
I don't know I don't know how to modify that. Other than like, okay, instead of like you have to have this, 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 and this on a note card, you only have to have this and this and this. But I mean, you kind of need everything that.
And I like this worksheet a lot. To practice parentheticals. It's really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one that I pulled from, it's like,
And that's a good plagiarism one
plagiarism, definitely.
to read and decide if it's plagiarism
Oh,
plagiarized or if it's okay.
That's really good. The University of Indiana also has a quiz online that they kind of it kind of walks them through it.
Self-editing checklist. Oh yeah, and this is this is the rubric that they use for juniors and seniors as far as Ward and Hale use this rubric.
Okay.
So let's take that rubric and modify it.
I mean, it's pretty simple as it is.
Yeah. I think really there wouldn't be a difference in the rubric other than, like, there's not a difference in the rubric, just difference in the content and the expectations of the content.
So does it need to be?
I mean, I don't think it needs to be simplified. I think we can grade it off of that.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that does look good.
Only thing on here, it doesn't have the amount.
So that comes from their contract. That's how I've done it in the past.
Okay, you haven't.
This is a grade, so there's and I'm up for whatever y'all want to do. But in the past, their contract was a grade, so did they just do these things? And then the content was a grade as well.
Cool.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So then, so you could have failed this, but you put together 2 nice paragraphs. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because they were also writing 5-page papers. You know?
Yeah.
The only thing, I've done the same thing on this. The only thing is I had one extra column for the number of your citations, the parenthetical references. Did you have the correct amount? If not, it took off points. But that was because that was part of the writing of the paper.
Yeah.
When you're using, you know what I'm saying? If we're requiring them to have, what did we say? 6 parenthetical references, 2 from each. There's not anything on here, but it was on there.
Yeah, because this is their contract grade. This is just me just looking at their note cards, me looking at their works cited sheet, looking at their in-text citation. Like this is the fastest thing and their page count for me to grade.
Okay, so you just went through there and counted.
Counted, literally counted. See if they took the time to do it, you know what I mean, and put it in there, and then the content just determined like, okay, did they use that right? Does that support? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that develops well.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I've just never done it that way.
I think
But that
makes
makes
very
sense.
easy. And mine, yeah.
I do like this, but I'm totally okay with just
No, I've
adding a
used
column.
No, I mean,
something similar to this in the past.
I'm great with doing that. I've just never done that before. I mean, I've given them grades like you have to have your content and you count up however many things. Okay, so just to finish up, I think we have a good plan for the research. But just to finish up with getting ready for STAR. How do we feel? I mean, do we need anything? I was asking her earlier to touch base on Monday for last minute. Is there anything we need to go over again? 'Cause I think we don't. I mean, I think we're good.
We're going to be going over our strategy, and we might brainstorm one more prompt together on Monday.
I'd have to pull some from somewhere else because I've done every one of the STAR prompts.
Just make them up.
I know.
I have a bunch that I made up.
Yeah.
Because we've done all of those. And I think, because when we did all the essays, I didn't have but like 2 1s this last time.
Yeah, I didn't either. I've been, for the past 2 weeks, been drilling the reading and writing portion of the test, so I haven't.
Now, I went back over, yesterday we went, I gave them back their essays, and then I had them with a group use the rubric to score. And then and it was really good because they taught, of course they're all always harder on each other than what you need to be, but the conversation was really good. And what they were actually having to use the rubric and talk about it.
Yeah, that's
so I think that, and I even did it with my regular kids, and I think they got a lot from that. Because, when they're looking at spelling and like, what does that say? Do you cut off for writing? No, you don't cut off for writing.
Yeah.
But what if you can't read it? Then it doesn't get scored. Just those types of questions.
Yeah.
But I think we're pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing as going back over the strategies one more time. And I'm not too worried about the writing part. I may go back over one more reading passage. Just what are the questions asking you?
We did a reading passage today and a revising today and a couple of tutorials.
Nice.
It was fast and furious. I was exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
I am too.
I'm so tired this week.
We did a poem today during tutorials, and we went over the questions. Like, I went over it from the STAR test that we went up. I just said, okay, what is this question asking? We're not going to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what it's asking.
Yeah.
Because if you can do that, then it makes the question easier.
Yes.
I don't have anything else other than, when do we get they give it to us on Monday?
The list, they're already posted.
Oh, but they don't email it to us? Or did he email it?
Oh wait, the list of what? I'm sorry.
The list of where kids go.
Yeah, it's posted out there.
But they don't email it to us individually. Huh. Okay. So they just have to go look. I'm used to telling them because we get the email list.
We tell our retesters, but that's all.
Okay.
So I don't know where my freshmen are testing either. Or my intervention kids.
Okay, then I'll just walk them down on Monday and say, okay, here's the list. Find where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And make sure they know. Because
I'm sure
I
he
thought
could send it to us. It's not like somebody printed it from somewhere.
Yeah,
you
they
know.
have it.
I'll just send you an email because I would rather have it and then, because I do have a lot of kids who are going to be gone in golf on Monday.
Yeah,
And
so you
then-
might want to post where they are in classrooms. Which they can look when they get
Because that's not, if they're posting it, it's not confidential. We can post that.
Right.
So, my children. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm good. I feel pretty good.
Oh,
Me
you want to keep that
too.
together?
Yes, that'd be great.
Someone carved in algebra on the desk and they misspelled it.